كلهم لما عالتي كم تزوركوا أقدم أبيله تزاربكوا. We're gonna ask Mr. David Shepard in Tigrinya. He is gonna answer it in Tigrinya. So that's what Z told me. She promised me you're gonna learn the language and you're gonna reply and answer all those questions. Welcome, Mr. Dave.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So I apologize. I tried to do some studying last night, but I've still got some work to do to learn the language.
Not enough time.
I hope he's joking because even though I was born to it, I still answer in English. So, my apologies for that.
Well. Some people, they have some special talent. So I am expecting him next month. He's going to be doing, when he comes back in October before the election, he's going to be good in Tigrinya.
I will see what I can do.
Definitely. We'll teach you the basic.
All right.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dave, for making time to join us and to share about this referendum about Alberta and Canada. It is a privilege to have you among us. So thank you very much. Before Z take over, I would like to welcome you. Thank you. We appreciate you for those great things you're doing in Edmonton, in Alberta, and even in our Canada country. We are very, very proud of you. Thank you for being with us. Z, all yours.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for the invitation, Mahar. I appreciate it very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much. First and most of all, thank you. We are coming all the way from Edmonton, Alberta, Treaty 6 for sure. David Shepard is the MLA for my area, and my area is downtown Edmonton. It is one of the most diverse, most communities that are going to be affected if anything happens to immigrants and if anything happens. And we are the first one to get the effect of any changes that happen in Alberta, that happens in Canada. Politics aside, everything affects us where we live. Today, I am honored to have David Shepard explain what this referendum does to immigrants and as well what it means, even though you might not be able to vote, how it's going to affect you as a business owner, as a nurse working at the hospital, or as a teacher, or your kids going to school as well. So I always say, we always get involved in politics that are further away from us, but we also have to know what's our politics in our backyard is happening and how it affects us. So thank you so much, Mr. Shepard, for coming in here today to explain what this referendum means and how we could vote as voters and who could vote. And as well, we'll have a lot of questions regarding the job and how you became an MLA as well. As an immigrant, we're very proud of you. You are a descendant of an immigrant, Trinidad and Tobago. So we love seeing you, and we love seeing you when you are standing up for us. So thank you so much. I'll give you the mic. You could introduce yourself in further more than I could.
Well, good evening. Thank you, Z. And good evening, everyone. My name is David Shepard. As Z said, I am the MLA for Edmonton-Centre. I've been an MLA for just over 3 years. So in my third term, I served with the Alberta NDP. So with our leader, Naheed Nenshi, and all of my colleagues as a member of the official opposition. So very, very proud to be at the legislature to represent as one of 3 African Caribbean Black MLAs alongside my colleague Sharif Haji, the MLA for Edmonton Decor, and my colleague Rhiannon Hoyle, who is the MLA for Edmonton South. So I've had the honor of serving as the critic for health and currently serve as the shadow minister for public safety and emergency services. So I appreciate the chance to be here tonight to talk about a very important vote that we have coming up in October with the referendum.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Dave. So I'm gonna interpret a little bit to the people. So because we have different kinds of people, newcomers, and all kinds. So I will put a little bit Tigrinya until you start doing it yourself.
All right.
All right. So the كعدي لما عالتي Mr. Dave Shepard أبناء NDP ساعتهم member كونوا بسرح حونا يوم مالتيوم أبوزح نجار تابع سكير أب safety بوزح نجار دقل جزلون نوح عمت I believe more than عصرت عمت زيادة more than 10 years I believe I was looking onto you so he's serving أبو أقل جلوز هبنا زلوا serving مالت so it's a privilege معنا it's a blessing كبيرة جزيو سويو أما كنا كركب كله مالتي سلازم بزعبنا referendum ناي كندا انتاي مسل بزعبنا ألبرتا زبل حسابات الشركة قبرنا why we should elect why should we know and elect نمتاك المرض على نازل الحساب إزيتها تزخزار بنا ينامو اسكي copy link share نبنمو حتى زلنا ونعمل رشاف text نقبر نخلينا نلعب دايبنا ونمكن زارب نخلينا. All right, so thank you Mr. Shepard. All right, Z, I will give it to you if you want to ask him by question and answer or whatever you want, the way you want it to be.
Perfect. So, as you know, this referendum, it makes a big change in Alberta. So, having been an immigrant living here, we've seen many changes. This referendum, who does it benefit and how do we vote?
All right. So on this referendum that the Premier has called in October, there are 10 questions. So the first question is the question probably everyone has heard the most about. Should Alberta remain in Canada, or should we start a process for Alberta to separate and become independent from Canada and leave Canada? Sorry, just let me know, how often should I take a break for you to be able to interpret?
Maybe I would say about a minute.
Okay.
It depends. In sometimes, if you don't mind, I will interrupt you too.
Yes, please. Okay, no problem. So that is the first question, and that is very important. And of course, I know for myself, I am a proud Albertan. I am a proud Canadian. My parents both immigrated here. My father from Trinidad and Tobago, my mother's family from the Netherlands. They came here. They became Canadian citizens. They have been proud Canadians. So absolutely, I think everyone should be voting to say we remain in Canada. And that will be option 1 on the first question on the referendum.
Thank you. So, Mr. Shepard እንታይ ኢሉ ኣነ proud Canadaዊ proud ድማ ኣልበርታኒ ድማ ኢሉ ክልቲኡ ኢሉ ስለዚ I'm proud of that ካብ ዝተፈላለየ background ድማ ከም ዝመፀ ሰሚዕኩም ኣለኹም ማለት እዩ ስለዚ ካናዳ ክትፀንሕ ኣለዋ ዶ ኣልበርታ ምስ ካናዳ ክትፀንሕ ኣለዋ ዶ ዋላስ ክትፍለ ኣለዋ ፕሮሰስ ክንጅምር ኣለና ዝብል ሕቶ ኣብዚና ንዛረብ ዘለና ኢሉ ካብተን 10 ሕቶታት ሓንቲ ማለት እዩ go ahead.
After that first question on separation, there are 5 questions about immigration. So basically, Danielle Smith, as Premier, wants more power over the Alberta immigration system. So she wants her and the government of Alberta to have the power to decide who is allowed to immigrate to Alberta. So right now, that is a federal government responsibility. The federal government brings people into Canada, and then people have the choice of which province they want to go to. Alberta has a small bit of control with the Alberta nominee immigration program, so a small section, but overall it is federal. But Danielle Smith wants full control because she says what she wants are economic immigrants to Alberta, by which she means she wants immigrants that have money. She wants immigrants that she thinks will contribute in a way that she likes. But what we know is that we have many immigrants that come to Alberta who come here as political refugees or come here with other needs. My mother's family came here from the Netherlands after World War II. They had lost everything they had. They did not have money. But they were welcomed to Alberta and given the chance to grow and thrive. That is how we have gone up until now. But in the first question, Danielle Smith wants to change that. She wants more control so she can say no to people that she does not think she wants to be here.
That's good. So, Danielle Smith, after Alberta, she's
MP.
MP. Okay, she's member of parliament. ማለት እዩ ንሳ more power ዘለዋ ኣብቲ ኣልበርታ ማለት እዩ ስለዚ ንሳታት ትደልደላ ሙሉእ ስልጣን ክህልዋ ሕጂ መንግስቲ ካናዳ ስልጣን ዘለዎ ሕጂ ግን she want to have own ባዕላ own ጌራ ድማ ንሳ ትኽትውስን ዘለኹ ናይ ምውሳን ስልጣን ዘሎ መን ክመፅእ ሃብታም ድዩ ንኣልበርታ መን ኮንትሪቢዩት ክገብር ይኽእል ዝብሉ ጥራሕ ሰባት ክትቀበል ነቲ ኢሚግራንት ኮይኑ ዝመፅእ ድዩ ነቲ ከምዚኣቶም ዝኣመሰሉ ግና ብዙሕ ዕድላት ኣይክህሉን እዩ ምክንያቱ የስ ኦር ኖ ናይ ምባል ስልጣን ንክህልዎም ሙሉእ ሳፖርት ንምርካብ ዝብል ሓሳባት እዩ ዘሎ ሕፅር እንዳቦልክ ዝነግረኩም ዘለኹ ስለዚ pay attention yourself guys. I'm giving them a little bit only. Okay, so go
Yes, I
ahead.
understand. So, sorry, go ahead.
And
Okay,
as a
so
premier,
Daniel Smith says we have to have less immigration to Alberta. She said the federal government let too many people come. What we know is the federal government has already lowered immigration numbers. They have dropped off significantly in the last 2 years. Daniel Smith says too many immigrants have come here, and that is why we do not have enough access to health care. That is why our schools are too crowded, because we have allowed too many people to come. She said this in February when she announced a $9 billion deficit, because she said we have too many people coming to Alberta, they are using too many services, and that is why we have too much debt. We know this is not true. We know that when people come to Alberta and they work in Alberta, they pay taxes. They help pay for the costs of the services that they access. We have a deficit and we have challenges in healthcare and education because the government is not making the investments it needs to make to support these things for all Albertans.
Wonderful. ስለዚ ዳንኤል ስሚዝ ትብል ዘላ እንታይ ብዙሓት ስደተኛታት ስለነምፅእ ዘለና እዚዩ እቲ ሽግር ዘሎ ብዙሕ ደፍስት ዘለና 9 ቢልዮን ዶላር ደፍስት ዝሃለና ምክንያት ብዙሓት ስለነምፅእ ዘለና ንዕኦም ሰርቪስ እንህቦም ዘለና እዩ ኢሉ ግን ሚስተር ሼፐርድ ታይዱ ዘሎ እቲ ነው ትክክል ግን ኣይኮነን ከምቲ ዝግባእ መንግስቲ ኢንቨስት ስለዘይገብር ዘሎ ዳ እምበር ከምኡ ስለዝኾነ ኣይኮነን መፅኦም ሲ ታክስ ከፍሉ እዮም ዘለዎም ስደተኛታት ጥቂሞም ዳ እምበር ኣይጎድእዋን ይድብል ኣሎ
So on these 5 immigration questions, first of all, Daniel Smith wants more control over who can come to Alberta. Then she wants to change how people can access services like healthcare and education. So she puts forward a few different proposals. She said, well, maybe when people come to Alberta, if we don't approve them, they cannot access healthcare or education. Or maybe we make them wait for a year before they can access healthcare and education. Or maybe we charge them, we make them pay to access healthcare and education. This, again, despite the fact that when new people come to Alberta and they work in Alberta, they are already paying taxes, which pay for services. So Daniel Smith is proposing to have people pay taxes and not be able to access services or have to pay more on top.
Yeah, so Daniel Smith እንታይ ትብል ዘላ ትሪ ክትልውጦ ደላ ሓሙሽተ ነገራት እንታይ እዩ ኣክሰስ ነቶም ድመፁ ዘሎ ቀዳይ ነገር መንኣቱን መናያቱን ክትቆፃፀሮ ይደልዩ ማለት እዩ ካልኣይ ነገር ኣፕሩቫል ናይ ሄልዝ ድዩ ናይ ትምህርቲ ድዩ ኤዱኬሽን ወይ ደር ንገለም ክፍቀደሎም ንገለም ኣይፍቀደሎም the same kind of system ናይ ኣሜሪካ ዘሎ ዓይነት ማለት እዩ ስለዚ ተደይኮነ ድማ ኤክስትራ ቻርጅ ድማ ምግባር ክጅመር እቲ ዘሎ ሲስተም ሲ ለውጥ ክግበረሉ እዩ ማለት እዩ
Yes. And so this would be for anyone who is a non-permanent resident of Alberta. So this is before someone becomes a permanent resident or a citizen as they are working through that process. So myself, my colleagues in Alberta's New Democrats, we think this is wrong. We disagree. We do not trust Daniel Smith and the UCP with more power over immigration. So we say that we should vote no to all 5 questions about immigration in the referendum.
It's good. ስለዚ እንታይ as NDP leaders እንታይ ኢና ንኣምን እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ ቅድሚ እቲ permanent resident ምዃኑ እዚ ክፍቀደሉ የብሉን ዝብል ኖ ነተን ሓሙሽተ ሕቶታት ንሕና as a party ኖ ዝብል ነቲ ዘቕረበቶ ሓሙሽተ ነጥብታት ዳንኤል ስሚዝ ዘቕረበቶ ሕቶታት ኖ ዝብል መልሲ ክንህብ ይግባአና ክንመርፅ ይግባአና ኢልና ምክንያቱ ካብ መጀመርያ ሒዙ ድሕር መፂ ሓደ ኢሚግራንት እቲ ዝግባእ ፕሮፐር ነገር ክወሃቦ ይግባእ ይብለና ደሎ
to live because they already have an established life. This affects us as immigrants, as the basic workers, the entry-level workers, the laborer at the oil and gas companies, the guy who goes and open a store. So this is why this referendum is very important, and how we vote makes it is an echo. It's an echo for us to continue living in Alberta, even throughout Canada. If this happened today in Canada and in Alberta, what's going to happen next in Saskatchewan? What's going to happen next in Toronto or Ottawa? So this is like, it's going to affect, it's an effect that is, it is the effect that's coming down from down south, making it down here. So for that reason, we really, really need to educate ourselves. So as you know, my personal is that we fight for immigrant and we are immigrant. So my question for this one, beside my statement, is how would you can we do as both on the ground to make sure this is going to be we're going to be successful?
Absolutely. So it is very, very important that every Albertan vote in this referendum. We know that 100% of the people that believe in separatism will show up to vote. So it is very, very important that every person who opposes separatism shows up to vote to remain in Canada. In terms of the immigration questions, it is also very, very important that we all show up to vote against these immigration questions. So there's 5 immigration questions and 4 other questions about constitutional things. I won't go into them all, but basically all it is the Premier and the government want more power. In my view, they are not doing a good job with the power they have. Healthcare is struggling. Education is struggling. We don't need them taking on more things. We need them to work on the things that they are responsible for. So it is very important that everybody show up to vote remain in Canada, and no to the other 9 questions.
Right.
ስለዚህ ከም ተዝብለና ዘሎ እንታይ ክንመርጽ ግድነት እዩ እቶም ካናዳ ወንካ ኦንታሪዮ አልበርታ ሰፐሬት ክትገብር ዝደልዩ ደለው ሰባት they will show up ክኸድዮም ክመርጽዮም አገድሾም ነቲ ዘለዎ ድማ ምንቅቃሕ ክገብርዮም ክመርጽዮም ስለዚ ንሕና ከዓ ካብኣቶም ንላዕሊ እዚ ዘገድሸና ሰባት ከይድና ክንመርጽ መዓልቲ ጌርና ኣገዳሲ ነገር እዩ ምክንያቱ እንታይ እዮም ዝደልዩ ደለው ሞር ፓወር ሞር ሓይሊ እዮም ዝደልዩ ደለው ንምንታይ ድሌቶም ክገብሩ ስለ ዝደልዩ ደለው ስለዚ ምውፃእ እውን ኣሎ ምስጓግ እውን ኣሎ ካብዚታት ክስዕበና ስለ ዝኽእል ግዜ ጌርና እቲ መዓልቲ ፈሊጥና ክንመርጽ ብጣዕሚ ኣገደስቲ ነተን 10 ዘለዋ ኖ ኢልና ካናዳ ትጽናሕ ዝብል መርገጽ ክንሕዝ ይግባአና እዩ
So one of the most important things everyone can do is order a mail-in ballot. So the government of Alberta, Danielle Smith, she made many changes to how elections work in Alberta. If you voted in the city election last year, you may have seen there were very long lineups. That is because of changes the government has made. So when the referendum comes on October 19th, the lineups will be even longer because there are now, instead of 1 ballot you fill out, there are 10. So if you can go to the Elections Alberta website now and order a special ballot that you can send in by mail. It comes to your home, you fill it out, you mail it back. So that is the easiest way for everyone to be able to vote so it doesn't interrupt your family or your work or school. So I recommend everybody go and order their mail-in ballot.
ስለዚ ክንመርጸሉ ንኽእል ክምጥጥ ስለ ዝኾነቲ መስርዕ ምርጫ ዝግበረሉ መዓልታት ኩሉ ግዜ ይመጡ እዮም ሕጁን ብጣዕሚ ብዙሕ ነገር ስለ ዝቕየሩ ዘለዉ እቲ ዝበለጸ መገዲ ካብ ሕጂ ትሒዝና ኦክቶበር 19 ክኸውን እቲ ናይ ሬፈረንደም ምርጫ ስለዚ ኣብቲ ናይ ኤሌክሽን ዌብሳይት ኣቲና ኦርደር ንግበር እቲ ክንመርጸሉ ንኽእል ባሎት መሬጽና ድማ ክንሰዶ ንኽእል ማለት እዩ እዚ ዝበለጸ ካብ ስራሕና ይነብኩር ካብ ገለ ይነብኩር ስለዚ ካብ ሕጂ ትሒዝና እንተ ኣዚዝና it makes it easier ንኹላትና ዝቐለለ ነገር ክኾነልና ይኽእል ስለዚ ኣብቲ ናይ ኤሌክሽን ዌብሳይት ኣቲና ንኣዝዞ ክመጸና ይቦ ጌርና ድማ ትባሎትና ኣዛድ ንኽእል ማለት እዩ
And it's
copy and share please.
Yeah. The last thing I would say is then it is very important that everybody tell all of their friends, all of their family, all of their neighbors. I know I go out and I knock on doors, I talk to people. Many people don't know about the referendum. They don't know about the questions. They don't know the process. So it is important we let everybody know, especially in our communities, that we know would be affected by many of these changes that the government wants to make. So it is very important that everyone who is able to vote knows about the vote and is able to vote.
So when Alberta's separated, people are complaining, especially the newcomers right now, there is no job. So it's not going to be better. It's going to be worse, that means, isn't it? So the data you just rahellen nibralana Alberta and Hartefelia kana anto intailu hadasa masilukum ana sarah lakum masgano dretum gworu ilu. So it's not. ድሕር ደወሲና ምስጓግ እውን ኣሎ ምውፃእ እውን ኣሎ ናበይካ ከይድ የተፈለጠ ማለት እዩ ስለዚ ሞር እቲ ናይ ስራሕ ዕድላትን ናይ ትምህርትን ሄልዝ ኬርን እዚኢታት ከበድቲ ነገራት ከጋጥመና ዝኽእል ስለ ዝኾነ ኩላትና ሲሪየስሊ ክንወስዶ ዝግባአና ምርጫ ድማ ክንመርፅ ዘለና ነዚ እዩ ሓውና ሚስተር ዴብ መፅኡ ሂዝ ሼሪንግ ሂዝ አይዲያ ናቱ ሓሳብ ካፍለና ዘሎ ንምንታይ እዚ ዝገብሩ ዘሎ ንምንታይ ኣዌር ክንገብር ኣዝ ሲቲዝንስ ናይ ካናዳ እቲ ዝግባአና መብሰልና ክንገብር ይግባአና እዩ ስለዚ ሲሪየስ ወሰዶ ምክንያቱ ስራሐይ ክገብር ተልኩም ስራሕ ዘይብልኩም ፅዋሕ ክትኮኑ ትኽእሉ ኢኹም ኣፍተር ኦክቶበር መጨረሻ ዓመት ድዩ ሶ ሌትስ ወርክ ኦን ዲስ ዝብል ሓሳባት እዩ who can if I may ask who can elect on this referendum
So you must be a citizen of Canada and resident of Alberta to be able to vote in the referendum. You must have your citizenship.
That's good. ስለዚ citizen ዘበልና ሰባት ክንመርፅ ንኽእል ኢና ነበርቲ ድማ ናይ ኣልበርታ ክንከውን ኣለና ስለዚ ንኩሉ ሰብ ንጎሪድ ማዕፆ እንዳኸዱ ይነግሩ ኣለዉ ምክንያቱ ንባዕሉ ክጥቀም ጥራሕ ስለ ዝበለ ፓርቲ ናቱ ክጥቀም ጥራሕ ስለ ዝበሉ ይኮነን ግን ነቲ ጀነራል ደሎ ህዝቢ ሂ ሴድ ናቱ ባክግራውንድ እውን ዝመፀሉ ቦታታት ኣለዉ ካብ ደገ ዝመፀ እዩ ስለዚ ካናዳ ድማ ካብ ብዙሕ ዓሌት ዝተመሰረተት ዓድያ ስለዚ ኩሉ ክሕገዝ እንደኾይኑ ቁርተይ ሰባት ጥራሕ ዝሕገዝሉ ምንታይ ከን ኩላትና ለስቶክ ንዕሩኽትና ድዮም ፋሚሊና ድዮም ኣብ ኩሉ ዘሎ ኣልበርታ ኢንከሬጅ ክንገብሮምን ክንነግሮምን ይግባአና እዚያታ ቀንዲ መሰጅ ዝበና ዘሎ
The other thing to note is that you must have photo ID to be able to vote. So that is another change the government has made. So even if you are mailing in your ballot, you will need to send a photocopy of your ID. So it is very important if you do not have your photo ID yet, or you don't have it right now, to get your photo ID as soon as possible, so that you will be able to have your vote counted.
ንክትመርፁ ድማ ናይ ግድን ፎቶ አይዲ ክህልወኩም ኣሎ ድራይቨር ላይሰንስ ድዩ ፓስፖርት ድዩ ዋትኤቨር ኢት ሕጋዊ ዝኾነ ኣብ ኣልበርታ ፎቶ አይዲ ክህልወኩም ኣሎ ክሰድዎ ከለኹም ንሱ ናይ ግድነት እዩ ስለዚ እሱ ተዘይብልኩም ሉዝ ጌርና ኣለና ማለት እዩ ስለዚ ደቂ ኣልበርታ get your ID ready ግበርዎ ማለት እዩ ክሕደስ ተኾይኑ ኣሕድስዎ ማለት እዩ
And I just want to touch base on the election because I did work the municipal election last year. I was the manager for our area. I didn't get home until 5 o'clock the next morning. It was a disaster. The lineup kept going, and people were very much angry at the people that work in the election, which was nothing to do with us. Having said that, though, this is really, it's important for everyone, even though you're not in Alberta. This will affect the people that are your family that live in Alberta or yet who wants to come to Alberta. So, you can't just ignore it and say, oh, it doesn't affect me. I'm just, I'm living in Toronto. It doesn't affect me. It does affect you because it could be your son, it could be your daughter, it could be your friends that are living here that we need. We're not here to promote any political, but this is our life changing. So for that reason, I highly, highly recommend for those who are citizens, if there's one family who have kids who are 18, 21, and whatever, 18 and over, and they're one family, if there's 5 vote in each family and there's like 500 of us, we're already succeeding on this. My second question is, this election and yet other election that comes into Alberta, what is the best education for people to be aware of, and what would be your recommendation for us as immigrants? Not just word of mouth. Is there other things that we could do as part of our commitment?
Absolutely. So there's a very good website called Know the Nine, KNOWTHENINE, knowthe9.ca. So it goes through each question and gives in very simple information what the question is about, what the concerns are with the question, and why people should vote no to each of those 9 questions. And then, of course, remain in Canada for the first question. So that is a very good website if you want more information, if you want to see the questions, if you want to understand what the concerns are, what the issues are. So I would recommend that people check that out.
That's good.
Go ahead.
زي كلنا تصنحه تقدمت يس كندا ألبرتا مس كندا تصنح تبلي زترفوت شعت جنا انتاي نو كنبلو ما انت خنردوم ذكر مثلا زي كتسدل لي عمو بوست خجوري عنا واتساب جروبنا عنا تيك توك على فيسبوك ون بوست خجوري دن شير نقورينا خلاتنا مالك.
Yeah, I will definitely share their website. Not a problem. All right. To move to less serious, we just celebrated Heritage Days in Alberta, and it was such a great thing to see, and hopefully that will continue. I was hoping that you would share a little bit about your personal journey, how you got into politics, and as well, if anybody has questions, Mahari, please let them ask, because I think we've been talking for 1 hour almost. So we want to lighten up the mood a little bit and kind of see if David Shepard, if you could share your journey as coming into politics and why you chose to serve the public.
Thank you. So yes, I was born and raised here in Edmonton. As I mentioned, both my parents immigrated. My father from Trinidad, my mother's family from the Netherlands. They met at a small church here in Edmonton. I was born here. So I did not grow up connected to any of the African, Caribbean, or Black communities. For my father, when he converted to Christianity at a young age, he decided that that meant for him giving up pretty much everything to do with his culture. So I grew up sort of in a white church community here in Edmonton, did not have much connection to our Black communities.
All right. Oh, I got to interpret. I forgot. All right, my apology. So it is a matter of background. Mr. David is from Trinidad and Netherlands. ما بونا ديون. كابكل تكستات ماتشم. أبتزمت أقول جزيتات جن بيتسوون أبناء كريستيانيتي أمنات كما تقولوا بزح connection أي نبرنا. أبتنا black community ون طبق زبالة ركبات أي نبرنا مالتي. سلزي it was حدش دخونه experience ينيرون ومالتي. All right.
So, but I grew up in the Christian church, and that very much set my values in many ways that I carry with me. The idea of, I think, of caring for people, of believing in justice, in believing that we look out for the people who are struggling and we look out for those who have the least. So those are things that have informed me throughout my life. And I faced challenges myself with my health, with my mental health. I learned what it was like to feel like an outsider. So that shaped my view of things too. When I had the opportunity then to be a leader, to get involved in the community, I wanted to look for opportunities to help those who need help.
Yeah. So እቲ ኣብ ህይወታና ዝዓበ ሁሉ እቲ ናይ ቤተክርስትያን ዝዓበ ሁሉ እንታይ ኢሉ ኬር ምግባርን ምሕል ኣይነ ሰባት ወይ ከዓ ነቶም ኣውትሳይደርስ ድማ ዝኾኑ ከመይ ጌርካ ዌልካም ትገብሮም እዚኢታት ኣብ ውሽጠይ ዝተማሃርኮ ዝዓበ ሁሉ ነገር ስለ ዝነበረ ደን ወላይ መራሒ ምስ ኮንኩ ድማ ነዚ ኣፕላይ ክገብር ይደሊ ነዚ ድማ ኣይ ኬር ብዛዕባ እቲ ኢሚግራንት ይኹን ብዛዕባ ዝተፈላለዩ ናይ ፀላም ኮሚኒቲታት ደለው ክሕግዝ ዝለዓዓለ
So my first career was music. I learned to play piano when I was very young. I learned to play by ear. I love music, so I went to McEwen University in Edmonton. I went through their music program studying piano, studying recording and live sound, and I spent about 12 years playing in bands, playing music, doing some music of my own, and doing some studio work.
ካብቲ መጀመርያ ናቱ ኬሪር ዝነበረ ሙዚቃ ፒያኖ ዝተፈላለዩ ኣብዚታት መደባት ጀሚሩ ማለት እዩ
And after a while, I got tired of being broke as a musician, so I decided to go back to school, and I did a degree in professional communication. And it was during that period that I got involved in some advocacy in the community. I joined the board of my condo, and I got a taste a little bit for leadership and organizing, and discovered I was good at organizing other people and getting that work done. So I decided that, hey, someday I think I would like to run for political office. And, you know, I looked, I said, I'm not much interested sort of in potholes and zoning bylaws. And I felt like federal politics was too high off the ground, international affairs, everything. I felt provincial politics, things like healthcare, education, things that matter to people every day was a good fit for me.
Wonderful. Did you say Brock? So, እንታይ ኢልና መስለኩም ሙዚቀኛ ኮይነስ በቃ ገንዘብ ዘይብሉ ድኻ ምዃንስ ብጣዕሚ ኣድኪመኒ ኢሉ ስለዚህ it's not you ቶም ኣብዚ ታሕቲ ዘለና ዲና ሓደሽቲ ኮይና ኒው ካመርስ ኮይና መፂና ገንዘብ ይብለይን ስራሕ ይብለይን እንብል ሰባት it's not us only ንሕና ጥራሕ ኮንናን ማለት እዚ ሓውና ድማ ሕጂ መራሒ ኣብ ናይ NDP ኮይኑ ናይ ሲቲ ናይ ኣልበርታ ሰንተር መራሒ ኮይኑ ደሎሲ he passed through that በዚ መገዲ እዚ ድማ ሓሊፉ ይንሱ ዘይነበረሉ ግዜታት ነይሩ ስለዚህ ወሲኑ ግን ናይ ፖለቲካ መራሒ ክኸውን የኸማን ኢሉ ግን he didn't start just ካብ ሓደ ካብ ላዕሊ ጀመረን ካብ ታሕቲ ግን ጀሚረ ግን ብናይ ፕሮቪንሻል በዝን እንዳበልኩ ግን ናብዚ ደለኹ ደረጃ በፂሐ ኢሉ
and that was around 2012 and at that time for my entire life I was born in 1973 for my entire life there had only been one political party that held power in Alberta, the Progressive Conservative Party. And I saw people were very frustrated and angry. They felt the government had been in too long and was not listening. They wanted change. And so I decided I wanted to run to help people believe that change was possible, that you could have politicians that would listen to people and be in the community. And so I decided to run with the Alberta NDP because I saw, though they only had 4 MLAs, they were working very, very hard and doing very good work. So I decided to run with them.
Yep. ስለዚህ ኩሉ ግዜ ካብቲ ዝመጻ ሁሉ ባክግራውንድ ዝተላዕለ ናይ ምሕጋዝ ነገር ስለ ዝነበረ ብዙሓት እተን ፓርቲታት ህዝቢ ኣይሰምዑን እዮም ናቶም እዮም ዝገብሩ ዝብል NDP ግን ነቲ ህዝቢ ኮንሰርቫቲቭ ዝኾነ ነገር ከመይ ይጠቅም ዝብል መርኣያ ስለ ዘለዎም ኣነ ድማ ምስኦም ክኸውን ኣብዚ ፓርቲ እዚ ኣትየ ክሰርሕ መሪፀ ስለዚ ናይ NDP ፓርቲ ኮይነ ድማ ራነ ገብር ኣለኹ ኢሉ ማለት እዩ
So in 2015 when I ran I did not expect to win. In fact I was told I would not win. But my goal was I would run and get some experience. The MLA that was here in Edmonton-Centre had been here for 18 years. But I was told, hey, she will likely retire in 2019, so get some experience. And then in 2019, you will run the real campaign. But I got caught in the orange wave with Rachel Notley. And in May 5th, 2015, I found myself elected.
Wow. Congrats. So, ክጅምር ከሎ ኣብ 2015 ክምረጽ ዝብል ሓሳባት ከማን ኣይነበሮን ኣብቲ ናይ NDP ምክንያቱ ነዊሕ ዓመታት ዝመርሐታ ሰብ ስለ ዝነበረት ቦታ ዝሓዘቶ ግን ኤክስፒሪየንስ ኾነኒ ኢሉ ግን በዚ ማይንድ ሴት ተላዒሉ ግን ፈቲኑ ማለት እዩ ግን he make it ገይሩ በቃ ተቀቢሎሞ መሪጾሞ ድማ ኣብታ 2015 ኣብ ናይ NDP ንክምረጽ በቂዑ ማለት እዩ ስለዚ ይከኣል እዩ ደቂ ዓደይ
So after I was elected I found that I was only the 3rd Black person ever elected in the province of Alberta to the legislature. Only the 3rd. And I began to get invited to many events with African, Caribbean, and Black communities. And I saw how important it was to them to see someone that looked like them in a role like mine. So at that point, I made the commitment. For those first 4 years, I would never say no to any invitation from one of the African, Caribbean, or Black communities. And it's been wonderful. That has given me the opportunity to connect with my own roots and culture. And has been a wonderful opportunity to help work towards getting our communities more engaged in our politics in Alberta, to have our voices heard. And as I said, now we have the largest number of Black MLAs serving at one time right now, 3. Hoping to make that more.
I love it. كلا أسكس كتشيرس بولتا عم بابا أسكس دلو أبلاود أسكس جورا دك عشانكم يوم تسمعون مخنياتي he become reason نتسلم تنخاتو مبر سالساي تسلم إنيرو أفتي بارتي نايمن قستي مالتي NDP مالت حدا كافتن بارتي تادلو عبيتين مالتي إذا حاونا زي نتسلم تي وين كان كاربيان وين كان خالوت عالية انتين مخان مخنيات كوينو مسيركم هي the model مالتي يكال you after government أتيخاس you can work you can be a prime minister مرحة كتكون تخيلها ناي party MP كتكون تخيلها سلسة حموشته اندابر كاب كله عليه it's not only كاب black مالك نخلو كندا تحوس سلازغونه أبزي بوتا خوينو إما تخوينو شعور encourage دم ما خوينو نخالوت موديل كهون Caribbeans Africans استفر على Indians استفر على حجب بوزحات أتيوم الله why not Eritreans why not Ethiopians you can do that.
I look forward to the election of the first Eritrean MLA at the Alberta legislature. Yes.
I love it. I love it.
I've had the honor. So I served 1 term while we were with government under Rachel Notley, and then this is my 2nd term in opposition. I served for 5 years as the Alberta NDP's critic for health, So that was during the pandemic and the war on doctors and that. So I learned a lot, and it was an honor to be able to sort of really do a lot of work then to try to sort of defend health for Albertans and support. Since then, with our new leader, Naheed Nenshi, I've become the minister, shadow minister for public safety and emergency services. So that's everything to do with policing and the correctional system and emergency management, like fire and flood.
Amazing. صرك براين سابق خمسات ريوان لهم بزح نجارات دما جرو حدش مراحل دما سلسلة توسخ دما استفر عليه نجارات نبزي يسرح له أنا جيت تا point وبكم زلخو يكال يودك عدي حلمنا you have to have عبي حلم خلونا له big دهون حلمي كم زحوي زولو زولو كأتوي له he becomes a model كوينه ومالتي نخالط عليه دما منات كندا is open Canada land of opportunity خنا عبي له نخلو دما open زخونه ما that's why إن ألبرتا نزارب زلنا حجي زي مالتي ألبرتاس كتفله إلى أخت مرات as a province ناتي عدي that much highly allo سد مالتي ስለዚህ ክንخእሊና ክንገብሮ ንخእሊና እንታይ ናሲ ይክዶት whether you are a woman or a man ሰብኣይ ሰበይቲ ብዘ የገደሽ ጎል ጌርካ ሎምዲ ክልተ ዓመት ሰለስተ ዓመት ይክዶት go ahead before I take over yours
it's all good. So, I mean, just the last thing I'd say is, yeah, you know, part of my work as well has been focusing on anti-racism, right, and combating hate in our communities. And so I know that we are at a time right now where, you know, hate-motivated crimes and incidents are rising. You know, I've had good friends who have experienced this in the community, you know, verbal attacks, other things. So it is incredibly important, I think, that we be working right now to combat that rhetoric, to remind us all that we are stronger when we are together, that Alberta is a place that welcomes everybody. And it's unfortunate. We've even seen one gentleman in the comments here who has been making some poor comments about immigration. We know that stuff is leaking across the border from Donald Trump, the United States. That is part about these immigration questions on the referendum are about. But I want you to know that myself, all of my colleagues in the Alberta NDP, we are working to make sure that we keep our province a place where everyone is welcome, where everyone is safe, and where everybody has opportunity.
Amazing. في لكل حدا خان صرح له نجار تايلو racism hate زبحال نجار صلئي زبحال صبو كم زي كونه أنصار ناتو مخام بسرح حبيركا مسرح يونيتي حبيركا معي عود زمتصنا بزبلت نجار كم أنا زخل نجار سلازخونه that's why لما ألبرتا ونحبير أخسرح ندلنا دما إزي تقمي سلازلوي يلمو كم تزع مسألة positive زخونه value تاعلو زحونا مالتي نحط قدر مخاد ناس اسك لايك هاولي با applaud باغور لي بجاهم لكم thank you من صوت راح كمان سي عبن نجار يو مالتي I am telling you guys كم تجرو نحدا party مراحي متيو time هيبو مسخاك ساكخون you know when you come كابكالا عاديتات community تمتصلها nobody shows up on this kind of media but they do care he cares this guy so that's why he showed up among us مالتي we appreciate you Mr. David go ahead any other Telecona if we're going to take some questions
I've talked a lot. I will give things back to Dee if she has any other questions.
I got you all right
I really appreciate you know this giving a little bit of your background because it makes us as you know immigrant or like I've known you since you've been voted and I volunteered and I always see you in the community and I'm very proud to be part you know of the Black community and the anti-racism as well for the city of Edmonton and I have seen you stand up and speak up for everyone who's immigrant who's Black who's you know have seen many changes and racism is not just you know because you're Black or because you this it could be a gender or whatever it is and as well what I've seen with David Shepard is he does not say oh this guy just came today from so I'm not going to talk to him. His office is downtown Edmonton. If you have any question you can make an appointment go see him. And I know for sure he comes to our Eritrean community. He's going to be speaking in our radios. He has come to a lot of the event, grand opening to restaurants. He also takes time to go around 107 and you know go in and say hello to the people there. He's an advocate for all of us. So for that reason, I'm proud that he took this time to come. So please, people, please share bring more people that are living in Alberta or living somewhere else to hear these stories, because they're our story. We are the immigrant. We are the one that's going to be making change for the future generation. So I appreciate you for coming and sharing the story. I honor you all. And as well, if anybody else has questions, come up and ask your questions. I think MLA David Shepard would be more than happy to answer questions.
Absolutely.
Alright.
If anyone has questions, yeah, feel free to drop them in the
Anybody has a question? Yodit or Sami Bia? حتى لكم كل حتى نغالينا بتقرني تدريهم بتقرني حتى تقوليهم then Z will interpret that.
You got it. Today I'm ready.
Sounds good. All right, Yodita, we Samina بنعلي زلهم كاب تحت زلهم if you want to ask question, come up, request, and thanks so much. All right, that's wonderful. And my question for you is, what is your experience? I remember a while ago when Quebec want to separate. What does it affect? እንታይ affect ጌርና ኩቤክ ክፍለ ዝከረን ብዛዓድ خلنا affect እንታይ ጌሩ ብዙሕ እግርግራት ነይሩ ብዙሕ almost ኩቤክ separate ክትገብር ቀሪዋ ነይራ ማለት እና ብዙሕ ነገራት ነይሩ ነው. What was the negative things you saw? How did it affect Canada?
Absolutely. So, Quebec has lost a lot economically because of the pursuit of separation. So, the Bank of Montreal used to be in Montreal. Now it is in Toronto. That is because banks and other financial institutions and other people that make big investments, when there is the uncertainty of separation, when they don't know if they stay in a place, if they are going to still be part of the same country, they choose to put their investments somewhere else. And so Alberta, right now we have a good thing. We have many people that want to invest here and help build our economy and create jobs. But we know even in the last year, in the last 6 months, that has started to change. Companies are saying, I am not going to invest until I see what happens and which way things are going to go. So that is one of the risks that the Premier has chosen to take by forcing us to vote on this question of separation.
Amazing. ስለዚህ ብዙሕ ኣብ ናይ ኩቤክ እንተሪእና ብዙሕ ተጎደአ ነገራት ነይሩ ወፅእ ጀመሩ ካብ ኩቤክ ብዙሓት መፅኦም ነይሮም ብዙሓት ነቲ ዓዲ እንዳገደፍዋ they were leaving Quebec ማለት እዩ ምክንያቱ እቲ separation ስለ ዝመፀ ስለዚ እቲ ሃገር ምካታ ፕሮቪንስ ብብዙሕ ነገር ትጉዳያ ማለት እዩ ነይረ ስለ ዝነበርኩ ብዛ ዓዲ ብዙሕ ነገር ገልጠምጠም ክኾን ከሎ ንሪኢና the same thing ኣብ ኣልበርታ ሕጂ ድማ ገሊኦም ካምፓኒታት ኢንቨስት ክገብሩ ይደልዩ እዮም ኣልበርታ ስለዚ ንኩላትና affect ስለ ዝገበረና at the end of the day elect ክንገብር ይግባአና ክንዳለው ይግባአና ባለት ክንእዝዝ ንኽእል ኢና መዓልቲ አይዲ ክህልወና ኣለዎ ንኽንመርፅ ማለት እዩ and we got different parties. Mr. Shepard, tell me why we should elect NDP. Tell me, convince me, give me 2-3 points. I'm going to ask you that question.
Absolutely, that is a fair question. So the Alberta NDP...
Sorry, different parties alona, Democrat alona, Liberal alona, NDP lo had a party, Orange Party, so NDP so you will have an idea. Citizens honkum, you got to elect ማለት መረጽ ይግባና ስለዚህ I'm asking this guy Mr. Shepard I would say why we should elect NDP so you will have an idea. Go ahead please.
I think first of all like Z said, the Alberta NDP, we are a party of the people. We are in the community and we stay connected to the community and we listen to the community. So, that is the work I do, and I have, 37 other colleagues who all do the same work across the province. So when we have the opportunity to return to government, we will continue to stay connected to the people and put what the people want first. What we have seen under Daniel Smith and the UCP is they do what they want to do. Albertans did not ask for separation, but we are being forced to vote on it. We did not ask for a provincial police force, but Daniel Smith wants one, so we are getting one. We see them do things with, trying to move us out of the Canada pension plan. That was something they promised they would not do, and they have tried to do. So all that to say, we want to be a government that listens to and responds and supports the people. Our record as government, when we were in government, we brought stability to our healthcare system. And I know that we helped bring it out because after years of conservative governments, there was a lot of chaos. We helped steady things. We calmed things down. We invested in healthcare and education year over year to meet the population growth and make sure people could access the services they need.
Amazing, wonderful. ስለዚህ እንታይ ኢልና NDP ንሕና ፓርቲ ናይ ህዝቢ ኢና ናይ ባዕልና ዘይኮናስ نهزبنا نسمعنا سمعنا دما انتاي كنقبر ابي هيلث كير دي ابي اديوكيشن دي اب تزدلي immigration كما يجرو اتهزبي ندار دانا يو بحسن قيد نتناتنا دليت ديكوناتهم كالوت بارتي ناتهم دليو سيبريشنز دليو هزبي كون دليلو اتم بعل دانيال سمز زياتهم زعمسلو سبيسيفيك زغونو سبات امز مرص زلو سلازم احنا كل غزي نسخاتكم سلازغنا ندلي that's why نخت مرصنا زغباكم ابلالو مالتيو NDP سلازي you can check onto that مالتيو more بلعبو مالتيو.
We also have a plan for affordability. We know that people are struggling right now with the cost of living. Price of groceries, everything is going up. So we've put forward our Alberta affordability agenda. We make promises we will help bring down the cost of electricity. We will bring in measures to help control the price of groceries. We have a grocery watchdog that will keep an eye on the prices and help make things down. We will remove some of the rules that try to block new grocery stores from opening in smaller communities. We will make other changes so that people are able to keep more money in their pocket. We have a plan to raise the minimum wage from $15 an hour to $18 an hour over a period of 3 years, and then to keep it predictably connected to the consumer index, so to the cost of living to go up predictably each year, to protect both people and businesses. Right now, Alberta has the lowest minimum wage in Canada, and that's because the government has not changed it or raised it. That is bad for businesses, that is bad for people. So we want to make sure that Albertans can afford to be able to live well.
Amazing. بزي مدبالنا إلو از NDP plan دلنا نحن سيم affordability كل نجار كبير هم زلنا فلتنا watch Ontario رأينا it's too expensive نحنا مالتي زلنا حجتنا براماتي ألبرتا في جنزب كستاتون أي وسخنا على مناتو حجون كم يجرنا نقول نسولنا electricity يستفر علينا جرات زين نقول نسولنا مجدي ندرس رحنا هنا زلنا مالتي سلازم نحنا بتلاقي ألبرتان سي تقمكم ونزيتات مالتي ونزي parties المرأي مالتي so which is good حتى زلكم سوات انت لهم sunshine do you have question حتى زلكم يديت أبلع على زلهم سبات من كاب تحت لهم صحفت بيلكم مالتي تديكونا Mr. Shepard my question one more question for you is like how much do the parties like when a strong community with thousands of people community works together they love those kinds of party why is it like what do you advise for our community Eritrean community what do you advise us from your experience if you understand my question
I'm sorry I didn't quite follow.
Okay, so my question is majority like parties NDP, it could be liberal, those they like bigger communities. Let's say it could be if it's a Somalian community is big or Indian community, they like those parties when people working. So as an Eritrean, always I talk about working together, having as a community working together. I always talk about this. Does it make any impact in Canada? Do the people they like stronger, the leaders, do they like stronger community? Just wondering if you can advise us on that.
Absolutely. You know, I get invited to a lot of events with a lot of different African Caribbean communities. When I go, I try to learn a little bit of the language. I apologize I didn't learn any language tonight, but I also try to learn some of the proverbs and the wisdom. And you know, every single African Caribbean community has a proverb about how we are stronger together. You know, in Sierra Leone, they say one finger can't pick a lice. You know, Barbados, they say one hand can't clap. In Somalia, they say it's teeth together that allow you to cut. You know, in another African country, they say, you know, when ants unite together, they can carry an elephant. And I think Ethiopia, Eritrea, they say sticks in a bundle are not easily broken. You know, and of course, that Pan-African proverb, you know, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So community is essential. And I think as an Eritrean community, yes, it is very important that you are doing things like this, talking about the political situation, encouraging engagement and education so that you can participate and have your voice heard. Then secondly, I think it is very important that we work together across African and Caribbean and Black communities and recognize we have common cause. And we work together to support each other, we can raise our voice and we can have a bigger impact.
Beautiful, I love it. So, بتناتو قال كنغركم سلازدلخو كندمنتاي نحنا حبيرنا مسرح كم حزبي اقداس مخاني اذا نغرنا زلو every community ناتهم سين علوم بناي سنديو بناي صابعت ديو بناي بتر ديو غيرم ز حبير كم مسرح سي deniable ديكون النجارات مالتي سلزي حبير كم مسرح أب كندا يكون نقول يدلي أبزخ أدحر عبو community توينا they will love us مناتو we could do a lot of things we can change بزخ نجارات كن كير نخلينا كم community some communities they stay in one area so they can elect their own MP مرصو مالتي سلزي حبير كان مسرح دك عدي بتعم يقدشنا ايو سلازي خنمرص حبيرنا حسرح يدينا ايو so you know Mr. Dave what we say in our Tigrinya is نخين السمامع تسمامعنا يلالو that's what they say what it means is what we say that but we flip it what it says is we agree not to agree each other they say but we flip it we agree to agree each other that's how we flip it that's what I say we do agree to agree each other because that's it's going to serve us so that's what you can take it from Eritrean because we don't want to work against each other so this is what we say that's all I want to say somebody else want to have any question or want to say anything Z anything you want to add we don't want to keep Mr. Dave with us all night long
No, not a problem. Do you have to leave right away? I know you're very busy, extremely busy.
I probably do need to leave shortly, yes. Okay. We need to pack for a trip tomorrow.
Okay, for sure. Anybody else has a question? So it could be a quick question or anything. I know he spoke about how he got into politics, and a lot of times in our community we shy and we become like, oh no, I can't do this. So I hope this has encouraged you to come and take changes and make changes in our community to start.
Yeah. And there are opportunities, you know, if you're interested in getting involved and engaged, you know, we are always looking for folks that would like to volunteer to learn more about how the political system works. You know, I have a group of probably about 10 young people who I meet with, me and my staff meet with weekly, you know, to sort of help educate and help teach because that, of course, if we want to be represented, we have to understand the system. If we want to have candidates from our communities, we need to have people that are supported to understand and build those networks and connections. So if you have an interest, you can reach out to me.
We'll put this in our...
Good question here in the chat. How can we help as permanent residents or what role can we play? So yes, I recognize for folks that are not citizens yet, you are not able to vote. But hey, you can help talk to people in your community. You can help educate and engage. We are always looking for volunteers who can help us make phone calls or knock on doors or deliver information. You know, we always are looking for help, you know, with raising funds. It's one of the challenges we face. Conservative parties, they have changed the rules, so big corporations can give them lots of money. So we need support, even just small amounts from people helps make a difference. So there are lots of opportunities, even if you're not able to vote yet.
Amazing. So, citizen ክንከውን ኣለና ንክንመርፅ ማለት እንድዩ ስለዚ at the end of the day vote ክንገብር ምእንቲ ኣቐዲምና እንተኣዚዝና ኣብቲ ናይ election website ከይድና order ንግበር idea ሃለወና ከዘይብልና citizen ከ ዘገድሸና ስለ ዝኾነ ነቶም ዘለዉ ክንሕግዝ volunteer ክንገብር እዚኢታት ብምግባር ነቲ ዘሎ ድካየድ ዘሎ ንዓና ዝጠቕመና ነገር ሓገዛት ክንሕግዝ ንኽእል ኢና ይኽብለና ፀኒሑ ማለት እዩ so it's amazing Mr. Dave I do appreciate for making time to be with us to share your wisdom and what is benefiting as a new immigrants here or people we live here to keep Canada as one it means a lot and thank you for being a model that it is doable we could do it we can be in the government we can be the prime minister this is a message to everybody because that's my saying always I do encourage we can make a difference as a community we can conquer we can win we can make a difference there is equal opportunity in Canada. That's what I said. So you are a good example, a good model to see that. And somebody was saying, even I'm going to move to be under Mr. Shepard group. He's saying that. So you did impress people. It means a lot. So, and you make me to think about NDP now, you know, so, which is a good thing. So thank you for coming. We appreciate you. Z also, thank you very much for introducing them. For bringing this smart guy among us, even though we are 100 people, still, he believes in small, making a difference. So it means a lot. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you for having me. If I may say one last thing. Right now, I know it can be very easy to feel alone. We look around, we see a lot of anger. We see a lot of division. It can feel like, you know, our voice is very small. But what we need to understand is that's intentional. People want us to feel small. They want us to think this small number of people that want things like separation are the real Albertans. But you know what? It's not true. There are far more of us who want Alberta to remain in Canada, who want to build a province that is here for everybody, to welcome everybody and ensure we have good, strong public services that we can all access, than there are people that are angry and creating this division. So the important thing is we just need to work together and show up and make our voices heard. So thank you for this opportunity to talk with everybody tonight and to share that message.
Thank you, sir. Do you mind if I put some videos in my social medias, whatever the recording from this? All right, and we love you, Albertans. We want you. We want you to stay with us. I'm in the capital city, Ottawa, so we want you to stay with us. So we need you, the Alberta people.
You are Alberta. You are Alberta.
That's
You are
correct.
You are a part of
You
it.
got it. Z, I'll give it to you if you want to say anything at the end.
Yeah, definitely. As you know, MLA David Shepard had said, even if you're not a permanent resident, getting out there, volunteering, talking to your family, talking to your friends makes a big difference. Supporting and making changes, and as well, like volunteering, going out there, because our community, we are the one that have. When I see somebody come to my door that looks like me, I know that I'm gonna be comfortable enough to do this and get out. And as I said, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for taking the time from your busy schedule to speak to us. And I hope you will have one more time that you could speak to us before the election on this.
Absolutely.
Be very ready. Once again, thank you everybody for listening. We are the future, and this is our future, no matter where we live in Canada. So please come out and vote.
Thank you. So everybody, if you can follow Mr. Dave, that would be great on his social media. You will have more information. Probably I didn't check it. I just followed him. So he probably posts many things. It could help us during this election also. So thank you once again. Everybody, we're going to stay a little bit. We're going to talk in Tigrinya until Mr. Dave going to learn next before October. You're going to say salam kamei dahan. So next time, no problem. And Z will make better too.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night. Take care now.
Thank you.
All right. So, okay. All right, Z. You want to start in Tigrinya now?
That's going to be a hard one, but I'll try my best. This is no offense to anyone, and it's more likely to, I like to say, this is a great opportunity for us to learn what different political system there is in Canada, in Alberta, because there's 3 tiers of government. I know I voted referendum in 1992, and that was the last vote we ever had as people, right? So this one is a great opportunity, even though we're permanent resident. In a couple of years, we're going to be citizen. In a couple of years, in 4 years, we're going to have the city, they're going to have another election. The federal government is going to have an election, and the provinces are going to have different elections wherever we're living, because those are the politics that makes, like, for the province, for example, it is your kids' education, it is your work, it's you're paying taxes, right, in each province, because those are your tax money that they get paid to make a difference. And so, you know, and you have the right to complain if you vote. But if you don't vote, then you cannot complain. You have to live with it, like any other country. That in some countries, we die to vote. So, you know, I hope my people heard today that you can make a difference. And as a Black person, yes, nobody's going to discriminate against you, no matter what your education is. You could be at politics. You could go out there, even have a grade 12 education, and say you want to run, and it's a matter of you know, having 2,000 vote. So I'm glad he came, and so thank you everybody. And this is the last time I'm going to talk. So
thank you Z, we appreciate you for doing this. It means a lot. ምክንያቱ እንታይ ክብለኩም ደቂ ዓደይ መሲልኩም this is very important ካብቲ ኖርማል level ውፅኢና ደረጃ ክንርኢ ክንክል ኣለና ናይ መንግስት ነገር ተዲፈሪድና እቲ መሰልን ግቡእናን ተደይንምለ ኮይና ወልሓንቲ የለናን ማለት የለናን ኣብ ዝዓዲ እዚ ኩሉ ግዜ ኣገልገልቲ ኮይና ባሮት ኮይና ንኻልኦት ሰርቪስ ክንህብ ኮይና ክንነብር ኢና ስለዚ ብኩሉ ኣብ መንግስቲ ደረጃ ክንረአ ድዩ ንሕና ዲና ደቅና ድዩ ኣብቲ መንግስታዊ ደረጃ ዝኣትሉ መገዲ እዚ ሰብ እዚ ከማና ስደተኛ እዩ ነይሩ ካብ ኔዘርላንድን ካብ ናይ ክሳይ ዓድን ዝመፀ ሰብ ግን على ما جيرو قلنا بزنا جرز خاطو كيلو مالتي نيجيريا وين ما تنكمو أب سيتي سنتر نيجيريكم أب كيتشنر الله ود نيجيريا ناي سيتي كونسل كوين استمرتي within 8 years wow I say تايقبرني رأنا إلى مالتي سلازي أبزي تمجمرة أبرأسنا أبلعل زبالة بوتات دحكنا حاسب جميرنا بزوحنا قركن قبرنا خلنا بمنقص درجة عبيت كامبانتات politicians سواء نقودك أنا prime ministers doctors استفر عليه هاي ذهون positions كنا حلم كنا حاسب زخلنا عدي معر opportunities اللي نحن كلاتنا إمارتي so انت أخن تحاسب هذا اللي هن دك عدي إمارتي كلهم دك أنا سيريهم دك توعاتي لهم انت يتحاسب